Hello and welcome to Ooled Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Virgo, our card tonight is the Two of Discs, which has everything to do with change. Shifting of energies, for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look and see what do these tea leaves have to say tonight. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to hit the like button or leave a comment, please do. Especially if you're new to the channel. Okay. So it looks like there she is. Okay, so this immediately reminds me of, and I cannot think of the painter. It is one of the paintings of the priestesses of Delphi, which they were oracles, right? They are often pictured in paintings within the genre of Orientalism, which is a movement within art, right? And I can see we have the face here, okay, and kind of sitting. We have the kind of the vapors, right? And this is, if you're not familiar, in ancient Greece. Now I'm going to think it's Greece, right? Delphi was in Greece, or was it in Rome? Well, it's in one of them. I think it was in Greece. That's terrible. I don't remember. But there was a place, right, called Delphi, and people would journey there. I mean, pilgrimages across, the Near East, across Europe, coming from the Mediterranean and so on. And they would come to talk to these oracles. And these oracles, they were, usually they are written about as or portrayed as women, right? Maybe young to middle age, right? So they would sit in these rooms, and this is what, the scholars think anyways. They would sit in these rooms and they would inhale vapors that were coming out of the ground. Now the vapors were probably toxic, right? But they would have hallucinations, they would have visions, and they would give advice. And even it was written that Alexander the Great would go and visit. And now I don't remember their individual names, but there was kind of a head oracle, right? And he would go and visit her and get advice about war and strategy and so on. So I'm looking at this and I feel like, you are somebody that people come to for advice. You maybe are an oracle. You maybe are a seer. Maybe you divine or scry. You could be a tea leaf reader. I am. And I am also a Virgo. So the thing about us Virgos is that we are just very intuitive people in general. We're also really good at reading people. We're really good at noticing little details, mannerisms, behaviors. We look at life and we kind of live off of our impressions of things. of course we like hard facts and so on, but I think so often we remember how things make us feel. We remember, you might not remember your, I don't know, 20th birthday, but you remember what the weather was like. You remember how the sun felt on your face. You remember the smell of, I don't know, maybe there was like oleander in the air, or something. And and that is a Virgo deal for sure. We are very sensory deep people. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I think, you are somebody who people really trust your intuitions. They trust your advice. Not only are you very perceptive, but you are fairly level-headed, especially when it has to do with other people's business, right? Now, we might get pretty hot in our own life, right? We might lose our patience. We might get real passionate, hot and heavy, all of that. But when we're looking at other people's lives, we're pretty good at like staying in that more rational space. If anybody in life, listen, our motto, I would say, as Virgos is do as I say, not as I do. And I'm not saying we're like the biggest hypocrites ever, but we do not always live by our own word, do we? I think that you are definitely somebody that people seek out. You are that friend. You are that confidant. And I think like it's been like this most of your life, right? And so this is a powerful energy, and it really kind of wants to be noticed. I think at times you can think of this maybe as kind of burdensome, or even like, I don't even know why anybody listens to me because I don't even know what the heck I'm doing, right? I feel, the same way sometimes. I feel like this is something to be proud of, right? Something to embrace about yourself. And put it to use for gosh dang sakes, right? Do something with it, because it is a rare quality to really have, to have it and to be able to use it really. And so let's go. We're gonna keep going over here. Now we have a person who is holding, it looks like a lobster. So I'm thinking of the crawfish or the lobster that is on the moon card. And this is often said to kind of, and the interpretations of the cards and the symbols, they vary, of course. But it is supposed to, anyways, kind of symbolize the melancholy, okay? Within the moon card, there can be a sense of great dread. Now, if you can think of those nights that you just can't fall asleep and you start spiraling, right? You're thinking about every, time somebody ghosted you, didn't text you back, you said something silly, all of the breakups and, the what's the word? Unrequited love, right? What does that mean? It means like when you love somebody, but they don't love you, right? Or you want to date somebody and they don't want to date you. That is an unrequited love. And sometimes you're just laying in bed, you're thinking about it, and it is this kind of, the only time in our day where we can just absolutely dive into those just haunted places, right, in our psyche. And so, I do feel like this is kind of a pump the brakes kind of situation. Like, okay, we might be going into a period of time here where we might be like really worrying about things, where we might be building them up in our heads. We might be hurting our own feelings, right? Looking at things out of context, reading into things that maybe they should be ignored, right? You know, or whatever it is, okay? And so I feel like this is like a good kind of symbol, a road sign saying, hey, focus, notice, look what is coming, get prepared. And yeah, definitely, I think a good strategy for kind of resolving this before it even like begins is proactively kind of going over some of this stuff in the light of day, right? And it doesn't have to literally be while the sun is out, okay? But it is when we are intentionally and actively exploring whatever these thoughts might be, instead of just letting them kind of invade us, right? These are kind of like those, what is that called? Invasive thoughts, right? And they can. It's the thing for me, I don't have trouble going to sleep usually. I wake up. I'll like wake up in the middle of, well, it's usually pretty early in the morning, but like, around like 4 a.m, right before I need to get up to work. I'll start to wake up and have this, just stuff come up in my mind. Like, oh my gosh, remember that roommate I had? And I was like really not nice about, whatever. They like ate my cereal or something when I was 20. And I just like will spiral about like, what are they doing? I wonder if they're okay. I don't want to look them up because what if it's really bad? What if they're, whatever. And it'll keep me awake. But when I know that I'm starting to feel these things really come on, then it's like I'm going to kind of think over this stuff before I go to bed. I'm going to really implement kind of a self-soothing routine before I go to sleep. I will set my intentions for my sleep. I will, make sure I have like something like white noise going, because that will usually help keep me asleep more soundly, and whatever it is for you. So I would say just prepare yourself for this period of time that is kind of sneaking up on us. Things might start going really well and then the anxiety hits, right? The overthinking hits. So let's be aware. This is the other one. I was trying to remember this, but the other thing that is really helpful, at least I find helpful, is writing about it. Okay, journaling, right? I know, nothing profound, but it is a really good exercise. It's good to just get our feelings, our thoughts out of us. Put it on paper. You don't have to keep it. You can rip it up immediately, but just letting it flow out of you is so helpful. So we're going to keep going here. So we have a person who is petting, it looks like a cat. And it looks like this says uno, so 1 right here. And below it we have the number 4. We also have the number 6 over here. But we have this person over here petting a cat. We have another person over here, it looks like walking this way. They're going that way. And they have, it looks like an animal, maybe a dog with them. So I feel like there seems to be maybe some pets well, I don't like to call them pets. I don't know why I even just said that. It's like a curse word to me. Our companions, right? I know. I'm one of those annoying pet parent people. I'm also a parent of a child, a human child as well. But you know, I am. I'm very silly and beloved with my cats. So, yes, our companion animals. I feel like there must be some focus on this in your household. Now, I wonder if you have a spouse or a significant other, a partner, and you kind of share the responsibility of the animals in the home. Now, it could also be that these are your kids, or you live with your children, right? And they have animals, is what I should say. Or another family member, whatever it is. But I do think that this is an important part of the dynamic in your home. I feel like there are times where you think, okay, after these companions of mine get older and they, maybe pass on, right? I'll be done. I'm done with animals. I love them, but I don't really have it in me. And then you just a person that has a big heart, and you keep finding somehow animals that need homes. And maybe you don't have a ton of animals, but I can't imagine you being a home without at least one. Okay, so I think this is it's a huge part of the way that you live. And I think it's something that maybe you grew up not having animals, or maybe your parents had a lot of animals, and you've always been drawn to continue to have these beautiful beings around you. And so I imagine, you've even, you left home, you went and moved out on your own, and immediately you got some kind of animal, right? You got a dog, you got a cat, maybe you brought yours with you from your parents' house. And I just feel like this is something that it really shows your depth and ability to love others, because you are so devoted, you are so dedicated, and you would do anything you could, right, to help your companions. And so, ultimately this just tells me truly through and through that you are a person who is in some places quite selfless. In other places, you really love, right? You love to be around beings that you love. You love to, have that reciprocated. Now, if you have a cat, it might not be easy to always tell, right? But you know that they love you. They like to be around you. They're at ease with you. And they're not always trying to leave, right? Sometimes they won't try to run out the door. So we also have up here, it looks like a Capricorn. So I'm wondering, maybe this partner, significant other that you have is maybe a Capricorn, which I could see a Capricorn and a Virgo being really good for each other. I don't think that I've ever... I am a ascendant Capricorn, but no, I don't know that I've ever dated Capricorn people, but I know I've had some Capricorns in my life that are amazing, wonderful, kind of have such a dry sense of humor that it's kind of almost like, are they talking SH to me? I don't know for sure. Are they serious? But yeah, I think that it is a beautiful combination. Friendship, lovers, partners, spouses, whoever. I think it would be a nice one. Now, if you have dated, if you have been with a Capricorn person, if you know one very well, let me know what that dynamic is like. I am interested. Okay, so we also have, it looks like a J. Okay, so a J, maybe somebody with a J name. We also have the number 69 right there. 69. And here we have a person who is, and it's interesting because over here we had the person holding the lobster. Now we have another person who looks like they're dressed in this beautiful ornate kind of dress or robe, holding the lobster out. And then we have fish over here. Okay, we also have an eye that is kind of gazing upon. And so I look at this and I'm thinking, you know, in this time of kind of this maybe rising anxiety about whatever is going on, whatever the situation is, I feel that kind of really investing your time and efforts into your work really will help alleviate this. Because I know that you're good at what you do. Whatever it is that you do for work, you're really good at it. And I think that you probably enjoy it to some degree, right? You don't hate, you know, being there or doing the thing. And so I feel like, you know, this gives you a sense of control in your life. When we really do, we kind of focus, we, you know, put all of our energy into something that feels productive, right? Now, I know not everything in life needs to be productive. Okay, we should not live that way. We shouldn't always be under pressure to produce. But for some of the signs, it really is a place of power to be doing something, right? And I really feel that Virgo people, and I have found this about myself, is that we are doing so much better in our emotional, mental, psychic spaces when we are doing projects, when we are staying mostly busy, not to the point of burnout, but when we're not idle, right? We're not just kind of hanging around doing nothing, just, you know, letting the wheels spin. When we have something that we feel is meaningful, or have a, you know, a series of things that feel meaningful, life is so much easier. Okay, so I feel like this is a real kind of indicator here for me. Focus on the work. Focus on the work, because that is what is going to help really kind of dissipate any of that lingering anxiousness. Okay. Now let's take a look. We have a kind of funny looking one. We have an arrow going to the past, an arrow going to the future. Reminds me of what is it? Alice in Wonderland in the cartoon, the old school one, when she's trying to figure out like where the, oh no, maybe it's not. Is it Alice in Wonderland or is it in Wizard of Oz? Maybe it's Wizard of Oz. Well, anyways, asking for directions and they say, oh yeah, you go this way. And it's like pointing in both directions. And it's like, wait a second, what do you mean? So I do feel like there is a sense of kind of, yeah, being pulled into the back, being like really pushing towards the future. And there's kind of a tug of war going on. And so I feel like there is really this kind of maybe romanticizing the old days and but also excited about what is to come. But I do think there are times where we really do have to make the decision to kind of let go of that old stuff, even if it is nostalgic and we have a sentimentality to it. Sometimes it really can leave us kind of locked into a place that no longer exists, right? The other part of it is being too much in the future, planning and, and worrying about, and, you know, just really getting yourself all wound up tight because you are focused on something that hasn't happened yet and maybe won't, right? You know, this is an important place to remember. We need to be in the now as much as we can. Now, I know as Virgos, right, we are always doing a million things, and we're always kind of, you know, I feel like as me being a woman and a Virgo, and really never growing up around people who kind of taught me how to be an adult. I mean, there were people around adulting, but my parents, they both passed away when I was young. And so I had a series of mothers and fathers, right? Even though my parents passed when I was 11 and 12, I still had, you know, a lot of people, a few women who really filled this mother role for me and continue to do so. And I'm so blessed for that. But, you know, I had to kind of figure out myself, like, how am I going to be an adult? How does it work to be an adult? And so on. And then I got into being a mother, right? I got married, I had a kid, and run a household, run a business, and all of that. I'm not bragging, it's a lot, and I don't do it great. I'm still like fumbling through it every day. But you know, I learned that this is something that I do well. You know, I mean, I'm not great at it, but I like it. I love it. Okay, I'm busy, I'm planning, I'm getting things done, I'm making sure everybody has everything they need, I have the schedule down, I know when everybody needs to be standing in the mudroom ready to get into the car, you know, and I am good at it. I mean, somewhat, you know, for my level of good, right? Which the bar isn't super high, but it's okay. And I feel like the more I think about the Virgos in my life, especially the women, we are really good at managing stuff. Now, it doesn't have to be a household or a family or kids or a business or anything like that. I mean, it could be that, yeah, you are in a management position at work. You are kind of the mom friend that everybody needs, or dad friend. You are the person that maybe kind of is the glue that keeps the family together. You are just amazing. Now, it's not even necessarily that there's a lot of pressure, but we kind of create our own pressure, don't we? And when we have that pressure, we do really well. Now, here's the thing. We got to figure out how to remember to be in that moment. I know, because I'm already thinking right now. It's my husband's birthday, right? And the next thing we have, I have to get the kids ready. And I say kids, my niece is staying with us, but we have one daughter. Get the kids ready. We're gonna go to dinner, right? And then I got to figure out, you know, all of the things. I got to know, what are we taking with us to keep my daughter busy? You know, is it the right? I've been looking at the menu, making sure there's something that I know every person will eat, you know, but this is like Virgo. This is our territory, right? And we do so well. But I'm going to remind myself, and I'm glad that this reading told me to do so, that I want to be there in the moment during dinner. I want to be there with my husband. Shout out to my husband, by the way. Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's an amazing tarot reader. But I want to be there in the moment. I want to remember how it feels to be, you know, with my family, with my daughter, with my husband, with my niece. And enjoying each other, you know, enjoying his special day. And it's not always easy as, you know, being kind of in that earth mama mode, right? We're responsible for a lot of stuff. And, but you know what, Virgo, if I can try, so can you. Okay. So let's both do it. And, let's see, I'm going to, just turn this. Okay. So we also have the goat. Yeah. So it does. It just, to me, it feels that like there is just such a powerful, powerful time here for you. I think that there's a lot of introspection. I think you're looking at how you've been living, how you want to live, your strengths, the things that you want to work on, being very honest with yourself and setting your life up in such a way that you can actualize the things that you want to do. And I know that you know what that looks like, right? We know, and this goes back to us being really good at giving other people advice, but not always following our own advice, right? So we know what we need to do. It's just about how are we going to stay in that place, right? How are we going to keep doing the work? So that goat is all about perseverance, right? All about staying the course, finding your way up the side of the mountain, even when it seems like there's no way you're going to make it. But you will, right? You will. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Let's see if I can get this to flip over. It says internal flame. All right, internal flame. Inside me is a steady flame. Every day I breathe life into my sacred fire. I am energized as I tend to my emotions of passion. I am energized as I tend to my emotions of passion. Yes, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. I'll take it. I need a little fire. Maybe I need a little less fire, maybe. I don't know. This part of the summer has me, I am just in full, nymph mode, I guess. Like, what are they're the nymphs, the satyrs and the nymphs, right? I feel wildly, beloved and loving and interconnected, and I don't know. I feel like I'm in a really, what is the word? Like there's an evolving of energies. The frequency is high, right? It feels good though. It feels good. I love this time of the summer. It's just so full, you know. And we're about to have the full moon too, which I'm excited about. We have a werewolf mask that my daughter likes me to scare her with. And she likes to scare us with it. And I'll have to get some pictures of her running around in it and post them. But always on the full moon, I go out and I ring the doorbell. And she comes to the front door, usually, you know, with my husband, of course. And she opens it and and she gets scared every time. But then she's like, do it again, Mom. So I'm always looking forward to our full moon ritual. All right. So Virgo, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. So if you will be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And what else? Oh yeah, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. All right. Okay, Virgo. Again, I'm going to tell you I love you and I thank you. And we'll talk in a few days. Good night.